Picking a baby name can be a lot of pressure. I mean, you're basically deciding what name they're gonna be stuck with their entire lives. The celebrities on this top 10 list today picked some of the weirdest names they could think of, it seems. But everyone's definition of weird is different. These are all coming from lists that I found online. I'm not personally calling them weird. Unless I do think they're weird, then I will tell you. I'm your host for this one. I'm Joss Bedard. Make sure you guys keep up with us outside of IO. You can find our social media links. They are down below. And stick around to the end because I will be shouting out some of your comments. But I want to hear some weird names. So let's get into the list. Fun fact, I think my name is weird. I personally have always hated my name. Not sure why my parents picked it. Apparently it is French and we are French and that's why. Although it is the masculine version, apparently. I was told that when you spell Jocelyn with just an N, it's the male version in French, and then the E on the end is the female. Kicking off the countdown list, number 10 is Pilot Inspector. Back in 2005, the My Name is Earl star Jason Lee announced that he named his baby boy after a song. It came from the indie rock band Granddaddy's 2000 album called The Software Slump. The opening track was titled He's Simple, He's Done, He's the Pilot, and Jason says that it blew his mind when he first heard it. His wife was also a fan, and it was her idea to name their son Pilot. Inspector just seemed fitting, I guess, when trying to find a name that goes with Pilot. Pilot Inspector. All right. Next up at number 9 is Diva Thin Muffin. People often talk about Frank Zappa's kids' names, but most people only mention one of their names, Moon Unit, or sometimes Dweezil, which is totally understandable because the names are very unique as well. But his youngest daughter's name gets overlooked and her name is Diva Thin Muffin. It's honestly like they picked 3 random words that they could think of and just combined them into a name. One of them is kind of like an insult, one is a weight description, and one is baked good. But it's probably not likely that people call her by her full name. I'm assuming for the most part people call her Diva, which actually sounds pretty sick. I wouldn't mind the name Diva. Diva Muffin even. Diva Thin Muffin? But Diva Muffin? Moving on to number 8 is Radix. Cameron Diaz and her hubby Benji Madden decided to name their daughter Radix and announced her birthday on Instagram in January 2020. Fans were shocked by their news since Cameron is 47 and Benji is 40. That's not really the typical age to have a baby, but after years of trying, they actually decided to start a family with a surrogate. Friends of the couple spoke up and said that they believe the name Radix is a combination of rad, which is one of their favorite words, and it also is a translation of the term new beginning. In their announcement post on Instagram, they wrote, "She is really, really cute. Some would even say rad in big letters." So that could have been like a little hint. Apparently they use that word a lot. So rad, Radix. Rolling into number 7 spot is Liza. Not gonna lie, for this one, people might think it's weird because it is different. However, I think it is pretty freaking cool. I'd actually be kind of thrilled if my name was Laser. It sounds pretty badass. And the name for him kind of makes sense because it goes with his other son's name, which is Locket. So Locket and Laser. Name a more dynamic duo. Laser and Locket. Diplo often posts about his kids on Instagram and calls them both his ride or die. I mean, he is pretty cute. There's been no confirmation on the meaning behind his name, but people say it's possible that it was a connection to his side project, Major Lazer. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? They name your kid after you. And at number 6 is Fuchsia. You might be sitting there wondering which celebrity this kid's name belongs to, and it is Sting. Her name is Fuchsia Sumner, and she was born in 1982 in London, England. Or maybe you weren't wondering at all because you already knew this information, but I sure as hell didn't. Turns out she's actually in the industry as well, known for her work in Saving Mr. Banks and Billionaire Boys Club. Naming your child after a color isn't really a common thing, but I'm kind of into it. I think Fuchsia's a cool name. I think teal would be cool. We are halfway through. At number 5 on our list, we have Stormi. Surely you cannot be surprised that one of the Kardashian/Jenner kids is on this list. When Kylie first announced her daughter's name, I remember thinking that it was just really random because I immediately thought of a thunderstorm, obviously. Kylie was asked how she came up with the name during an interview, and she explained by saying, "I really don't know how we thought of Storm. Her dad insisted that it was him, but I feel like it was me, and that just kind of stuck with us. And then I didn't really like just Storm. I didn't feel like that was her name. I feel like there was a lot of other names that I might have even liked better, to be honest, but I feel like Stormi picked her own name like it was just her name. Personally, I kind of like Storm better. Storm is like really badass. I I always thought it was Storm and they just like nicknamed her Stormi because it was like cute. Like my little Stormi. Wait, is she gonna go by Stormi when she's older? Or Storm? Sniping number 4 on our list is the name Gravity. Lucky Blue Smith is notorious for having eccentric names in his family. When you look at the rest of the names in his family, like Daisy Clementine, Piper America, and Starly Cheyenne, Gravity actually looks kind of normal. Back in 2017, the young model who was 17 at the time, the young model who was 19 and his girlfriend Stormi Bree, who was 26, announced the birth of Gravity in an adorable Instagram post. In their post, there was no real explanation for the choice of name, but it does go well with Lucky and Bree. Lucky, Bree, and Gravity. Bree, Lucky, Gravity. It works. They're a cute little family. I like it. Taking over the 3rd spot is Apple. That's right, Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow named their daughter Apple. One can only wonder why they picked this fruit name out of all the fruits, but lucky for us, Gwyneth gave us a lowdown on at least whose idea it was. Apparently, it was Chris's idea. During an interview, she was asked how she reacted when he first suggested it to her, and she said, "I loved it straight away. I thought it was so unique and sounded cool. I can't imagine her being called anything else." She also said that despite getting teased about her name often, her daughter actually really likes it. And anytime someone does question them about it, Gwyneth just dodges the bullet and says that Chris picked the name. Weebase number 2, and we have Cricket Pearl. Busy Phillips explained why she and her husband named their second daughter Cricket. When they first announced the name choice, it received some criticism online, which isn't all that surprising. But Busy explained that choosing a name was really difficult for them, but since the baby was born on a long weekend, she said she had some extra time to get back to the hospital with the name. Like, they didn't actually pick a name the day that they were born. Her husband Mark Silverstein is a talented movie/TV screenwriter, so he's always coming up with different characters for his movies and TV shows. Busy explained the process and said, "A lot of times your name dictates the kind of personality you have," and Mark was like, "Everyone likes Cricket. Cricket is just the greatest. Happiest kid on the block, the coolest camp counselor, she's hot in college." He just had this whole narrative for what the name was. I mean, okay, sure. I don't know if I'd be wanting to admit my daughter's gonna be hot in college, but okay. Moving on to the number 1 spot, it is the name I honestly cannot even pronounce. It is XAEA-12. Elon Musk is either really bad at making jokes, or he's the worst at choosing baby names, because he recently announced that his newborn son will be called XAEA-12. How are teachers even gonna say it? I just call him X. He tweeted out the first photos of his new baby boy on May 4th and said that mom and the baby are all good. He also announced the name, but didn't really explain how to pronounce it, or even share how to type the combined AE symbol on the keyboard. So if you're wanting to type it out and tell a friend, you just basically have to copy and paste that. Unless you know the trick, let me know. But Elon's girlfriend and mother of their newborn recently explained the meaning in a recent tweet. She basically just explained what the symbol means to them and confirmed that this variable of letters and numbers is in fact his real name, because people were doubting it or thought it was like code for his actual name. No, that is his real name. I didn't know that was legal. I didn't know we could have dashes and numbers. All right, guys, those are the weirdest names that I could find on the internet, depending on what you find weird. Let me know what you're thinking down in those comments, and give the video a thumbs up so I know you enjoyed it. But for now, I'm gonna check out some comments from Please Don't Pee Your Pants for TikTok. Lara Lou says, "This is why aliens won't talk to us." Oh, TikTok is so a reason why aliens won't talk to us. Yes. And Carol Baskin. Face Dorito says, "That's gross and stupid. Another reason why I don't download TikTok." Listen, I have TikTok and I am not out there peeing my pants. You can still enjoy the app without peeing, I promise. Zero Tolerance says, "TikTok, the channel where stupid people go to." Well, seeing as I go to TikTok, what does that say about me? Rosalind Viewer says, "This shouldn't have to be said." No, it doesn't. But neither should have the time when we had to tell people not to eat Tide Pods. So I think this does need to be said. All right, guys, that's all I got. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell so you can hang out with one of us every day. I've been your host, Joss. I will see you in a future IO story.